We got a guest in the building that you would not think that we would ever have in the building. We got my man Bimbo.
First of all,
yes,
I fuck with AZ.
Okay.
You know, I was an Aftermath A&R. So the Firm project, I was on the album, you know what I'm saying, worked on the project. I signed Mailman to Aftermath, and I placed 2-3 tracks on there with on the Firm album. But this track right here, this Bilal shit, I was in the studio when Dre made this shit.
Okay.
This shit right here is fucking
So before we go into that, let's take it back to the very beginning. You got your claim to fame pretty much DJing, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, I guess in a commercial sense of the world,
yeah,
I was a DJ. I was very popular in Hollywood, then kind of migrated a little bit to Vegas and shit. But in hip hop,
yeah,
I would say, you know, I was a breakdancer and I was a graffiti artist. So back in the early 80s, you know what I'm saying, I met Ice-T in like 83, 82, and he became like my godfather.
It's funny you said it because I said this, I mean, a couple weeks ago, I said back in the days, hip-hop cats did it all. You breakdance, you did graffiti, you rap. It wasn't like you just an MC.
Nah.
We did it all.
The only thing I didn't do was I didn't rap.
But as a B-boy and a fan of the culture,
for sure,
you dabbled in all that stuff.
Everything.
You know? And
as far as, I mean, if I had to bust the bullshit rhyme, you know what I mean? Like 1 to the 2 to the 3, you know, but I mean, when it got down to, I think around like 99 to 2001, it was like a serious like thought in my head that, you know, Jin had come out on Rough Riders.
Yeah.
And Dre was like, what you think? You know, and I was like, off image alone? And Dr. Dre backing me? I'm gonna sell $2 million off top just because, you know, it is what it is. And I was having, and then I remember I joked about it with Jay-Z and Dame. Yeah. And I was like, man, sign me. And I guarantee if someone write my shit, I mean, I could spit anything. I never even knew what a reference track was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So when we had dudes in the studio, like there was a kid named Drama that was writing all Dre's rhymes back in the day. Drama came in there writing a rhyme. And I'm like, wait a second. I was like, this shit is banging. Next thing you know, he was like, that's a reference track, motherfucker. Hands that shit to Dre in his Range Rover. Dre take off. Yeah. Dre come back the next day and he spit over the thing. And I was like, whoa, I never even. So somewhere in my archives, I have the Still DRE reference track with Jay-Z rapping over it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But like, I'm just saying, like, you know, it was a thought in my head. Yeah. Like, you know, like if you look at King T's album or there's a song called Black People. I was his A&R. And that album didn't drop. It was fucked. That was an amazing album, by the way. People think because King T, West Coast.
We're gonna talk about that. Let's take it back to when you was at, like, I know you DJ'd, you B-boyed the whole nine, but as far as the music side of things, you was at Priority Records, correct?
That was where I got, well, actually, I was DJing. Yeah. I met Dr. Dre. I had met Suge a little bit, and then he was at Death Row. Yeah. They just finished Murder Was the Case. So I kind of was just I don't know if you use the word intern. Okay. You up at the studio all the time putting in shit. And me and Sam Snead worked together a lot. Yes. And Sam was doing all the beats. And so I was bringing crates up there. And was doing inserts and scratches or whatever. So I was kind of at Death Row for a little bit.
So you was around when Sam Snead did Recognize and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah, right. That was right when it started.
I have a question for you. I heard this story that you can tell me if it's true or false. Did Dre put the beats on him? Not Dre, did Suge put the beats on him because he was hanging with them East Coast niggas and he said, I don't want you niggas hanging with the East Coast niggas, and they beat the brakes off him and he moved back to Pittsburgh because of that?
I can tell you off the air. All that shit that went down.
I got a lot of stories and shit, but I've heard a lot of things or whatever. So yeah.
So you know, some shit was going down at the label. Yeah. Even Pac was talking about trying to get out. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And pretty much, I kind of was like, oh, I'm still DJing. Yeah. And one day I get a page. And Dre's like, we about to start Black Market Records.
That nigga said a page. You young cats don't know a pager.
No, I got a page. For real. I'm being real with you. Yeah. And he's like, we about to start Black Market Records. Now, the guy who ran everything for Dre was a dude named Bruce Williams. He ended up writing a book called Rolling with Dre. Anyways, Bruce was like, we about to start this record label. Yeah. And I'm like, what you mean about to start, like, for real? They couldn't get the name. Black Market Records was actually licensed to someone in the Bay, like Sacramento or some shit. Yes. And they didn't want us, a lot of money, blah, blah. And so he was like, fuck it, we're going to be Aftermath.
Aftermath's a better name anyway.
I just signed a 2-year contract at Priority. We got Jay-Z, I got Master P, I got everyone. Yeah. And I tell Brian Turner, the CEO, I walk in his office and said, man, dog, I idolize this dude. Do you know what I mean? And I know you put him on. Yeah. but I gotta go, man. I was like, what you gonna do? You gonna sue me for $100,000? Like it ain't like that's really, I mean, come on. And he was like, Ben, I think you're making a big mistake and you need to go ahead and go on and do what you gotta do. So he let me out of my contract. The crazy part was my attorney is Peter Paterno. He was the president of Hollywood Records back in the day. He was also Dre's attorney.
Okay.
There was a weird conflict of interest. I ended up going to Aftermath.
Nice.
I remember being up in the house chilling. Should come up there to go get the masters. And I remember it was security guards in the crib, and I was like, don't one of you motherfuckers got a gun in here? And they was like, yeah, I don't want to shoot. I was like, wow. It was when he was really feared.
Yeah.
You know, and it goes full circle because, you know, my assistant was the one who knocked him out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Greg, we talked about that, remember?
Yes.
Anyways, going forth, that was my start at Priority. And there's amazing stories from this. We used to tell me what you wanted to go from there, but I mean, my first was at Death Row.
So at Priority, you guys did something that was different because you guys were a quote unquote West Coast type of label, but you guys
gangster rap
label.
House.
But you actually gave Duck Down a deal. Was you around during that time?
Yes, I was there before that, and then right in the middle of it, and pretty much. So what we did was we started up a Priority East Coast.
Yeah.
So I moved to New York for a little bit. Now we had groups out there, but the funny part was because Drew High is my boy, and so is Buckshot. Those are my peoples.
Yeah.
Now when I started DJing, anytime you saw a Nervous label, you're like, you know, it was either some crazy acid jazz like electric music.
yes.
Or you knew it was some, and you know, like you said, let me just retouch on this. People see Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, and Bentleys in the jewelry.
Yeah.
They don't realize what the fuck I was doing on some two for 99 at AM PM, 2 hot dogs for 99 cents. Like I was starving for a long time.
Yeah.
So all this shit now is cool, but really,
but you paid your dues, and that's the reason why we here, because we want to talk about that part of it.
So what I'm saying is, you know, when that East Coast shit came in, I was fucking with it because I was a DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was fucking Funkmaster Flex was signed to Nervous Records. You know what I mean? That was when he was dope. You know what I mean? And like,
hold on, you said that's when he was dope? He ain't dope no more?
I mean, I don't think he could be the same dude. I mean, you know, I fuck with Flex. You know, he got love for me. But I'm saying back then, you know, he would cut and scratch on things. Like now, you know, he won't let the record play. I don't think he's gonna blend anything.
He talked too damn much over records, yeah.
So, you know, when that happened, I was excited.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucked was Smith and Wesson had become Cocoa Brothers. You know what I'm saying? And it was like weird, whatever. But they had that. Then we got Organized Confusion, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is a whole different level. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and then we had Jay-Z, and then we had, you know,
So what happened to Jay-Z? So Jay-Z was on Priority, and how did Def Jam get Jay-Z?
Okay, so this was another reason why I left to go to Aftermath.
Uh-huh.
So pretty much, you know, they out here, they doing their thing. Jay is kind of like, I mean, he's green, dog. Like, I mean, he ain't nowhere the Jay he is now.
Yeah.
Now, he's also not the dude you see in the picture with the high top fade and a rope chain.
Yeah.
It was like in between, you know, he was fly. He was obviously had street money. And Jay would come around, you know, and chill. And he was really fucking with people inside the office. You know, people would take him around the Beverly Center and certain things and show him some shit. And, you know, he would jump on features too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was cool. And, it was like right around the time when I think it was Quest Records, they were putting out the Sprung soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little like weird gray area going on. And, you know, he would pretty much, people were saying, yo, man, Biggie's gone, you know, and was like, yo, he about to be the new king of New York, da-da-da-da. And I was already at Aftermath at that point then.
Yeah.
And Dame was kind of like, yo, listen, we need to get this, and this. And this is a true story.
Okay.
And they wanted a crib back in the day. And I can't remember now the numbers because, dog, I'm old. But it was like either 10, 25, or 50,000. Back then, that was definitely a lot of money.
That was a lot of money back then.
Even now, right now, it's a lot of money per month for a crib. And they wanted an S-Class, an S500.
And they wanted a crib out here in L.A.
In Beverly Hills. Right behind the Beverly Hills Hotel. I remember the place.
Okay.
And Andrew Shack, who was the head of business affairs, he was actually kind of like the executive vice president of the company. He said no. And I said, you motherfuckers are crazy. And it is true. For a long time, they was faxing over the sound scans and the Billboard #1 when Hard Knock Live was #1. Every time when #1 came out, they was selling the sound scans.
That was probably Dame Dash sending that shit, faxing that shit over. Okay.
Me and Dame is still, me and Jay, not like really close or anything, you know, definitely. If anything, out of anything, me, Biggs, and Dame was always the closest.
Okay.
Which is stupid on my part because I should have been, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, they showed mad love. I never thought that three would ever break up, ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had an East Coast division. There was some drama inside the label. They wasn't fucking with Mac 10. Do you know what I mean? Like OGC and them, they was and Helter Skelter wasn't fucking with Mac 10.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Why
weird
not?
shit. I don't know, it was some weird shit. They was like, yo, man, you corny, da 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 da. Be yo son, yo B, yo y'all corny B. You know what I'm saying? Yo son, yo done. You know, and like he and Dickies.
Yes.
You know, on the low. They was on a whole different level of, you know. And to be honest with you, it wasn't that cool unless you was Cube or Mac. It wasn't that cool to be a West Coast artist, you feel me?
At that time, no.
No, it wasn't because they ran it. Because, you know, we had How Can I Be Down convention and they was fucking murdering it over there. You know what I'm saying? Like the East Coast shit was, okay, let me explain something to you real quick. It was my last convention with Priority Records. We go to Miami and How Can I Be Down to this day? I don't want to hear about Winter Music Fest or fucking.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Some other bullshit. I'm talking about this was some real shit.
Yes.
We pull up. Master P pulls up with the tour bus. No one's ever done this before. All with his, you know, crazy artwork shit.
Yeah.
Pulls out like 80 soldiers. Sounds blowing right in front of the hotel, in front of the convention. And P Diddy, Puffy was like, "Who the fuck is this dude?" Like he was about to take over. No one knew yet.
Yeah.
But that's totally different. That's not even West Coast or nothing. Even though he was repping the Bay for a long time. West Side Connection had a show at Cameo, which is still around. The Cameo's still around. And I remember I was in the car. I had from Smith and Wesson. I can't remember if it was Steel. And I had dudes from Helter Skelter in my car. We was driving around Miami, just talking shit, seeing Busta Rhymes. And he was like, "What you doing tonight?" So I got to go to the West Side Connection. He's like, "Oh, you playing yourself, B? You need to go to that Wu-Tang shit, man. You tripping? You need to go to this Wu-Tang shit." I was like, "Nah, man, I'm fucking with that. I got to go to my thing." So I go to the West Side Connection thing, and you know, this is Ice Cube.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can't take away Friday. He's a big star, NWA.
Yes.
We go there, and the place holds a lot of people. I'll be honest with you, I think they filled 60% of the stage. It was crazy. Every other thing was pretty, you know, it's a big venue though.
Yeah.
So Q-Tip showed because, you know, they was in a movie together. You know, I think Q-Tip was in Poetic Justice something, or they kind of connected, whatever it was. He showed up to show love, and then we left. The main party was the Violator party, which was Old Dirty Bastard, The Roots, Redman, Method. I'm talking dog
Busta
fire.
Rhymes,
At that
Joe,
point, retarded.
Yeah.
So we go to Mansion, which was actually Glam Slam. It was Prince's Club. This club is the size of the Belly Center, right?
Yeah.
And we go in, and I'm with all these West Coast motherfuckers. Motherfuckers isn't like Bumblebees, Dickies, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, fuck that. We want to rip this West Coast, cut. Like, fuck this shit. We go in there, right?
Uh-huh.
Old Dirty Bastards here. I'm with Bigger B. If you remember Bigger B, rest in peace.
My man, the legend.
Big is right next to me, and I was like, "Yo, is that OD?" Like in the crowd, he's like, "Yo, that's ODB." I was like, "Yo, hold on, what's up?" Dude said, "What's up?" to me, gave me a hug, pushed me, and like walked. He was weird, right? You know, obviously.
Oh yeah.
The show's about to start. DJ Enough is on the turntables, and this has set the precedent for the whole "How Can I Be Down." He threw on "Shook Once," right?
Yeah.
Stopped the record, and he said, Hold up real quick. And I forgot if it was fucking Red Alert or someone got on the microphone and said, "Yo," because everyone was there.
Yeah.
They said, "Let me ask you a question. Is New York in the house? Let me hear you say." Dog, I never heard Justin Bieber concerts that loud. It was hell yeah. Everyone from the West Coast looked at each other like, "Yo, we really in the wrong place right now." And it was just like fire. But I had a good time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that kind of set the precedent of what's going on. And Dre has, I don't know if you know this, because we had a dude named Last Emperor on our label at Aftermath.
Yes.
That motherfucker was a rhyming son of a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So Dre always had mad love for East Coast artists. In fact, when I was DJing, we was doing some things. One night he came up to me and said, "Yo, you got that Grave Diggers?" And I was like, "No, what the fuck is a Grave Digger?" Because it was a white label. You know what I mean? He was like, "Peep this," and I was like, "Is that Prince Paul and RZA?"
Right.
Listen, what? It doesn't even make sense.
Quan from Stetson Sonic,
But so much dope shit on there.
It was.
That's how Dre was really. I mean, Dre fucked with everything. So I mean, we could go here or there, but yeah, I mean, my business card was Priority first.
Yes.
Aftermath, and then it was kind of like an Interscope thing. And then,
well, let's hope that talking about hip hop history like no other.
I mean, you guys talking about underrated MCs, and I ain't heard Big L's name come up, man. That kind of offends me. You know what I'm saying? I'm offended.
I don't think he's underrated though. People think he's a legend. So I mean, honestly. So I always say this, and I'll ask you since you brought up Big L. If he was alive today, where would he be as far as in the conversation? Would he be like Jay-Z, a mogul, icon, and also spitter, or would he be like, say, you know, like Tupac, where he was just revered for a lyricist and that's it?
I don't know. You know what? think about his company, Flamboyant Entertainment.
Exactly.
He was really about that flossy shit.
Yeah.
I can see that motherfucker today with the fucking mink sable dragging on the floor. Watches from me. Chains. I mean, he was about that.
No, he was definitely flamboyant. Yes,
he was just nice. I don't. I can't really say.
That's a Harlem thing, though. It's funny because it's a Harlem thing.
It is 100,000%.
Harlem. If you guys out there don't know, Harlem is all about the look, the image, the style. Your Air Force better be white, or they gonna talk shit about you the whole time.
I love Harlem.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
So let's talk about Aftermath. So you was there at the very beginning. Aftermath. I've always wanted to know, how did the firm come about?
I think was it what was not because dog
because Nas did the song Affirmative Action on his
second album, right?
Second album, and Dre produced that, I believe.
So the funny thing is, people were like kind of hating.
Yeah,
it was like, that beat is whatever. The thing is, Nas had a lot of cats that really wanted to fuck with him. Obviously, I mean, it's of course. Let me give you an extreme. How I met Dr. Dre was because I was DJing at Denzel Washington's little bar, okay? And there was a lot of cats that would come to that bar that were radio DJs, celebrities, everything. Dude, Jada Pinkett had her birthday party that I was DJing. Pac would be there, all the NBA players. Mike Nardone and Ems would fucking come up there and have dinner and not stay for the drinks, but people would be up there. And Denzel one time drove me home. He's like banging Nas in there. And the motherfucker literally, this is a true story. He came out and said, I'm an addict for sneakers, 20s of Buddha and beats, you know what I'm saying, bitches with beepers. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Denzel was heavy on Nas. First time he did a show at House of Blues, he was like, I'm in there. And it was weird because that was when it was really starting to blow up. This is after Malcolm X and everything.
Yeah.
So anyways, Denzel fucked with Dre, you know what I'm saying? He respected that, whatever. And Dre was like, y'all gotta fuck with Nas. They connected. And it was a bitch getting them all together.
So Denzel is the one that connected Dre with Nas.
No. I'm just saying Nas had so much. He had some higher ups.
I got you.
That fuck with him.
Okay, I got you.
And doing that, the album was mostly recorded in Miami.
Okay.
And not everyone was there at the same time. You kind of know it was really tough to get like Cormega.
So there's a controversy because originally Cormega was in the group. Yeah. And then him and Nas fell out, and then they added Nature last minute, which threw the whole thing into a tailspin.
But I fuck with Nature, and maybe I say that because I have a little bit of a. That's not nepotism. What is it? Because he was on. I don't know. I
think he's underrated. He's in this list. Cormega and Nature's on my list of underrated MCs.
I think Nature's fucking nice, though. Weird similarities.
So now, since you brought up King T, like every time you bring up something, I'm gonna ask you this question. No, because I like that because now it sparks another thing. So, rumor has it that King T was Biggie's favorite artist, one of his favorite artists, and he kind of mimicked a lot of King T's style.
Now, I can only say allegedly.
Okay.
I just know that Biggie said, yeah, I want to get down on this King T album.
Yes.
And that was a big deal. And the only way that happened was Fredro Starr from Onyx walked me into the studio. And when I met Biggie, it was just me and him in the studio. It was nothing. He had a pile of mashed potatoes about this. I bullshit you not. No, listen, dog. Listen to me. It was from Jerry's Deli, and it was about 74 orders. It was this high. And I was like, what the fuck? He had a suit. He had a Notorious B.I.G. outfit on it. I don't know if you remember, there was like a real limited, like I think it was made in Japan.
The leather one?
There was shit that was Notorious B.I.G. had like a small clothing brand. It was like, I think it was from Japan, because it wasn't like some regular shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got the okay. I mean, dog, he got killed a week later. Do you know what I'm saying? But like, we got the okay, and he was fucking with him. And Biggie was funny as fuck. He was cool as shit. But I also had 2 or 3 names where he couldn't say shit. Like, one was my man who I ended up giving him job priority. He ended up being executive vice producer, vice president. And there was another cat that was on the inside. I'm not gonna say his name. He was a gangster. And so Biggie looked at me and was like, hey man, everyone get out, man. He could stay. And I played him the songs. And he goes, fuck, man. There was a song with Too Short. There was a lot of songs. Like King T, listen to me. Hit Boy. I don't know if you respect Hit Boy or anything else. He's actually kind of studied. Hit Boy had said, Thy Kingdom Come, King T album, probably up if it is top 5 favorite albums.
So this is what I heard. And now verify this or not. The reason why the album didn't come out is because Dre found Eminem and he put everything on a back burner or threw it to the side because Eminem was so amazing. He wanted to put Eminem out.
I mean, you know, pretty much when Eminem came to save the label, you know,
everything was on the back burner.
I'm surprised Truth Hurts dropped, you know, was something.
That was shocking.
But when Game dropped.
So were you was still there when Eminem came?
No.
When Eminem came, you were still there.
Yeah.
So what was the reaction when you first heard Eminem for the first time? Because Dre said he lost his mind. He was amazing. What did you think when you first heard Eminem?
I still don't think Eminem is the most amazing MC in the world, but I think he's dope. I think he's talented, and I think he can battle rap. Just like I don't know if I want to hear Murder Mook over some Fresh 16th. I don't know if do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think to me, there's a couple songs. I think Stan was fucking amazing. Even the first time I heard it,
one of the best songs ever to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What was Guilty Conscience?
Yes.
I love that song.
Yeah.
There's a few songs and I love the stories, but then some of it, it's just the nasal voice. I'm not really feeling, you know. But I respect him. He's a dope dude, and he's but it's just I don't know, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen ciphers in the studio that were vicious, dog. I don't know where Mel is. I just talked to Bruce Williams, who was, I told you, the vice president of the label.
Somebody hit me up via Instagram and said, "Do we want Mel on the show?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, whatever." This is random, and it was somebody out the blue or whatever. So I
haven't seen Mel. You know, I heard he already going through some things, and you know, I don't know. I really can't speak on it.
Yeah. So after Aftermath, when you left Aftermath, you was there up until, were you there when Eminem's album dropped?
Yeah.
So you was there with Eminem. So you seen
the first album.
The first album.
Yeah.
So he pretty much saved the label. I mean,
he didn't pretty much. He did.
He saved the label, right? Because without him, we probably wouldn't be talking about Aftermath right now, right?
But I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Without NWA, we talked about this before, like weeks ago. There'd be no fucking G Unit. There'd be no 50 Cent. There'd be no trap. There'd be a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
It was a blessing. He's dope. One of the dopest freestyles I've ever heard him ever do. We had a fucking Grammy party. Dre won Producer of the Year. We was up in Hollywood, in Bel Air, at Eddie Murphy's old house.
Okay.
It's 4 a.m, and Dr. Dre came up to me and said, "Hey man, who the fuck is this DJ?" I'm like, "I know him." He goes, "Man, go up there and let's take over." We had no microphone, nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Exhibit was there. Mailman was there. Eminem, Backstreet Boys were there. They're all managed by the Firm. The Firm was a big group back then.
Yeah. Okay.
Firm managed like Martin Lawrence, I think. So we took the headphone out, plugged it into the mic.
Yep. That's the old school shit.
You can't hear shit.
That's old school shit.
He didn't have that many records, but he had Guess Who's Back? I think Kanye West produced that Scarface track.
Yes.
So we started playing some instrumentals. Kid Rock goes out there, starts scratching, and Dre's DJing, and we're just kind of doing some shit because we got no headphones. You can't really hear the thing.
Yeah.
And M just gets on the fucking thing. He said, "Oh, we taking it to the ghetto." And he stands up on a speaker, and it was like a bunch of Hollywood ass white people, and he just goes fucking left and never went right. Just kept going left and left, killing shit.
Yeah.
Hands the headphones to Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
And this is when Fred was Lord God Almighty, okay?
Yes.
They were huge. Like 12, 13 million records sold, you know what I mean? Like real diamond. And he gave Fred the mic, and Fred was like, yo, check it out. And people were like, yo, if you don't get the fuck off this thing, it made him look so stupid. You know what I mean? But first of all, how many people want to grab the mic after M?
Not in that element, no.
So yeah, he saved the label. I don't know what else to say. I think he's dope. He's not in my top 10, whether it be singles, solo rappers, or groups. It just not, but he's dope.